In the base Pokemon games, only a few starters have received Mega Evolutions, but in the ROM hack Elite Redux, every single generation of starters has been given new Mega Evolutions. But with only one allowed per team, which of these Megas is worth having? In this video, I wanted to go over all the Grass-type Mega Evolutions available in Elite Redux and find out which of them is the best in the game. Starting in Dex order, we have Generation 1 and the official Mega form for Venusaur. Venusaur on its own isn't that good, so how much does the Mega Evolution improve it? The stats for Mega Venusaur are exactly the same as in the base games. Decent defenses, with both sitting at 120 and special attack sitting at 122. It's certainly on the tankier side, but can hit back if it needs to. With the innate ability Thick Fat, two of its bigger weaknesses, Fire and Ice, have their damage cut in half, essentially removing them as a weakness. With this Pokemon's heavy reliance on the sun, this is very important. The only choice ability for this Mega is quite an impressive one, being Big Leaves. This is one of, if not the greatest ability a Grass type can have, because it's 5 abilities at once. Chloroplast will let it use moves like Solar Beam, Growth, and Weather Ball as if it's in the sunlight, whether it's up or not. Chlorophyll will make it 50% faster, and Solar Power will make it 50% stronger. Harvest technically doesn't do anything since it can't hold an item other than a Mega Stone. So this Mega needs to be in the sun to reach its maximum potential. Setting it up itself isn't super difficult considering its bulk, but with the power and speed in this game, that might not work a lot of the time. Although if its health gets low enough, the Forest Rage innate will be at full power. Forest Rage boosts grass moves by 30% at full HP and 80% at 1/3 of its HP. Also, keep in mind that every single Mega in this video has this ability. So how good is Mega Venusaur with all of these abilities? It's actually a solid Mega as long as the sun is up. It can set it up on its own in most situations with its bulk, and then it'll have a 50% increase to attack and speed, giving it a good matchup versus a lot of Pokemon. There still is risk though, so using it on a dedicated sun team is really the best way to use it. That's probably the only time I'd use one though, as the other Grass Megas are just better on their own. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. Venusaur isn't finished yet, as it was given a second Mega Evolution based on the G-Max form. This Grass Poison type focuses more on physical attacks. Both defenses now sit at 130, so it's much bulkier, while its attack is raised to 125. 60 in speed is pretty bad though, so expect it to take a lot more hits. This Mega Venusaur doesn't have Big Leaves as its main ability, but it has a signature ability being Energy Siphon, letting it heal 25% of the damage it deals. So it heals when it hits you with a powerful Vine Whip or Frenzy Plant, and it can heal up a lot of the damage that's done to it. And those moves are very good because of its Long Reach ability, which not only prevents it from making contact on its moves, but also boosts the power of non-contact moves by 20%. Frenzy Plant will now be at 156 base power, which can do some serious damage to a lot of Pokemon. If a Pokemon manages to live an attack from one of these physical moves, they'll still be in trouble because of the Whiplash innate ability. Whiplash causing any physical move Venusaur uses to lower the foe's defense by 1 stage. If Grassy Terrain is up, back-to-back Grassy Glides would be a real problem from this thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with multi-hit moves, so Bullet Seed can't be used to just obliterate a Pokemon's defense. Truthfully, this Mega is just a worse version of the previous Mega Venusaur. With Thick Fat being removed, it just has way too many common weaknesses to try and be a tank. Such a low speed stat will have this Pokemon dying before it can really do anything worth it. Maybe if Grassy Terrain is up, it can be useful, which it can set up on its own, but there are way too many good Megas in this game to waste your Mega slot on this thing. Because of what you give up to run it, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 10. Moving to Generation 2, we have the amazing Mega Meganium. Just like in Legends EA, this version of Mega Meganium gains the Fairy type. It's not the greatest type combination in the game, with 5 weaknesses and a devastating 4 times weakness to poison. A majority of its stats are put into its bulk. Both of its defenses now sit at 130, while its HP sits at 80, so it's decently bulky and can be difficult to one-shot without poison. 118 in special attack isn't game-breaking, but can do solid damage when it needs to. 80 in speed isn't that great, but it won't matter too much. One of Mega Meganium's innate abilities is Triage, and is what makes this Pokemon so good. Triage gives all healing moves +3 to priority. Now, priority can make a lot of moves good, but +3 is just insane. That's the highest of any attacking move in the game, so Mega Meganium will almost always be moving first. Draining Kiss and Giga Drain are great stab moves to run that work with this ability. Synthesis is also great as it allows it to heal up before taking another hit. The other innate ability that pairs very nicely with Triage is Absorbent, which will let draining moves recover 50% more HP and will apply Leech Seed. So not only does this hit first, it also has priority Leech Seed. Most of the time, this Pokemon is at full health or close to it with all the recovery. Because of this, getting off a Calm Mind is very safe and will just increase its attack power and bulk even more. Both of its stab options are really strong because of the last two innate abilities. Misty Surge is its main ability and will increase the damage of its fairy type moves by 50% more. It also prevents it from being put to sleep or confused, which could really hurt this Pokemon. Having a terrain setting Pokemon is very useful since some teams in this game rely heavily on certain terrains being up. The last ability is Forest Rage, the innate that all of them have, boosting up its grass moves even more depending on its HP. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest Mega Pokemon in the entire game, not just for the grass starters. It's very easy to get a Calm Mind or two off and just run through teams. Being faster than 99% of the Pokemon that come out because of its priority is just so good. Pokemon with priority blocking abilities like Dazzling or Queenly Majesty can shut it down, and a Poison type is something to be cautious of, but I believe this Mega can improve almost any team you put it on. Easily a 10 out of 10. Sceptile's base form is already a decent Grass Dragon type to have, but the Mega form just brings it to the next level. Grass Dragon is still a bad type combination with 6 weaknesses, including an Ice weakness that will have it dying to any Pokemon with Ice Shard. With such low defense, it really doesn't take much, but with insane attacks sitting at 140, a lot of Pokemon might not even get the chance. And with 150 in speed, most Pokemon without priority will need to survive at least one hit from it. Speed is a big part of Mega Sceptile's game because of the Speed Force innate ability. This ability will take 20% of its speed stat and apply it to its attack stat when using contact moves. So the faster it becomes, the stronger it gets. It can run agility, but Swords Dance is also a dangerous option. Nothing is scarier than seeing this Pokemon in the sun because Mega Sceptile was also given the amazing Big Leaves ability. So the sun will increase its attack power and its speed even more. Solar Blade will work instantly whether the sun is up or not and will cut through almost any Pokemon that doesn't resist. It's so strong. Dual Chop is a solid stab dragon move that hits twice so it can get through multi-scale or Focus Sash Pokemon that stand in its way. Not to mention it counts as a slashing move and will receive the boost from its final innate, Keen Edge. Solar Blade also receives this boost, by the way. All of this makes for an amazing Mega Evolution. However, it does have some flaws. It hits very hard, but without the sun, it can fail to one-shot some bulkier Pokemon, and with its defenses, it won't live a counterattack. It can't set up the sun itself, so other Pokemon on the team have to help it reach its full potential. Priority moves, which are everywhere in this game, can be all it takes to stop it. This is still a great Mega and a must-have for any Sun team. 8 out of 10. Mega Torterra is a Pokemon that has a lot of different things going on with it and can be used in many ways. The grass ground typing remains the same though, so it's another Mega that needs to stay far away from ice types. If it's a physical attack, it might be fine though, as it has a massive 184 in defense. By far the highest of any grass type in the game, alongside a fantastic attack stat of 150. Special defense isn't too bad at 105, but speed being 36 can be an issue. Luckily, the Solid Rock innate ability can keep it safe with all super effective moves against it being reduced by 35%, giving it a better chance to live. Mega Torterra is actually the first of these Megas to have multiple choice abilities, so by choosing Rough Skin for the base form, the Mega will have Grassy Surge to set up grassy terrain on entry, giving it an instant opportunity to use Grassy Glide. And if it's going against a physical attacker, its amazing bulk will easily allow a Swords Dance or a Shell Smash, so it can do severe damage with those Grassy Glides and other moves. Or for more power instantly, it can run the Sand Force ability and be put on sand teams. A Trick Room team is also not a bad idea with its low speed stat and can pick up a bunch of KOs. Mega Torterra actually gets a signature ability that no other Pokemon has. Atlas will set gravity on entry for 8 turns. Now, what are the benefits of gravity? Well, all moves have their accuracy multiplied by 1.67 times, so it will never have to worry about missing a Sleep Powder or a Fissure. Flying and levitating Pokemon will be grounded, and the move Grab Apple will be raised to 120 base power. This can be helpful for its teammates as well. Overall, I think this Mega works best either running Grassy Surge, hitting a Swords Dance, and sending out Grassy Glides, or just on a Trick Room team. Otherwise, it's just not as useful as the other Megas. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. Serperior is another grass dragon type that is quite useful on its own, but gets some interesting upgrades from Mega Evolving. All of its stats get a decent bump across the board. Both defenses go up 30 to bring them to 125, while its speed and special attack get little bumps going to 90 and 125 respectively. So nothing really sticks out, much like its base form. Mega Serperior is another one that gets 3 different choice abilities, one of them being its famous hidden ability, Contrary, reversing all stat changing effects. So abilities like Intimidate and Scare will actually raise its attack stats instead of lowering them. More importantly though, moves like Stab, Leaf Storm, and Draco Meteor will no longer lower special attack by 2 stages, but raise it by 2, quickly creating a snowball effect that lets it run through teams. The base form can do the same things but isn't as powerful, however it is much faster since it can hold a Choice Scarf. Regardless, the power increase after just one of these can have it blowing through any Pokemon it's faster than, easily sweeping some teams. The innate ability Supreme Overlord can make it an incredible late game sweeper, as each fallen ally gives it a 10% increase to power. It essentially has a choice specs if it's the last Pokemon standing. Trying to slow it down with a status condition just isn't wise, as Shed Skin will eventually remove it anyway. With the extra power from Supreme Overlord, it doesn't need to run Contrary to be effective, as Multiscale can help it be a menace. Multiscale having the damage at full HP alongside its natural bulk can let it easily use a Dragon Dance and become a great physical attacker as well. Terrify can help it in the same way, as it cuts a foe's special attack in half on entry, either forcing the AI to switch out or just deal a little damage as it sets up. I really think Mega Superior is a decent choice and can end up saving your team in a pinch. With the different ways you can run it and the late game threat it poses, your team certainly won't suffer by running it. 7 out of 10. Chestnut actually wasn't given a Mega Evolution, at least not yet, but was instead given a Battle Bond form to match Greninja. So only the special Battle Bond Chestnut mystery gift can actually achieve this form. Clement Chestnut is a grass fighting electric type Pokemon, the first of its kind. Not the greatest combo with 6 resistances, but 6 weaknesses. And for a Pokemon focused on bulk, this can be an issue. Now, with 152 in defense, this Battle Bond form is expected to take hits. It can also dish them out with 128 in attack, but with an 87 in speed, it can be a bit tricky. Unlike the others on this list, this Pokemon can hold any item at once, as the Battle Bond ability is what changes it. You can have this Pokemon as well as a Mega Evolution, so that's a bonus, but needing a KO to activate it is a bit tricky with a defensive Pokemon. Once it does though, it can run its new signature choice ability, being Faraday Cage. Faraday Cage is the ability Shell Armor, which reduces all damage by 20% and negates crits, plus it triggers a 50 base power Thunder Cage when hit with a contact move. This can add a bit more damage and will trap foes, preventing switch outs. It's not the greatest ability ever, but reduced damage is always nice. Galvanized is another option and is pretty much the only way it can use its stab electric moves, Double Edge being the most powerful option. Lastly, it can have Self-Repair, which is basically just a leftovers, and the ability Natural Cure, helping it stay around a bit longer. I believe Battle Bond Chestnut is best when it's running a Shell Smash White Herb set, as it's bulky enough to set up on physical attackers, and doubling its speed and attack without drawback is really solid. Drain Punch will bring back any health lost on setup. Frenzy Plant is just an amazing grass type move that works like Gigaton Hammer now. Spiky Shield can be used to stall out the rest turn, so it's not that bad. It's a little tricky to get the form to activate at times, but it can be a solid sweeper if things are right. 6.5 out of 10. Mega Decidueye is a very straightforward Mega Evolution, but does have an amazing design. Its typing remains the exact same and nothing too crazy happens to its stat spread. Attack is raised by 20, bringing it to 127, and its speed is raised by 50, bringing it to 165, making it the fastest Ghost type and fastest Grass type in the entire game. And with its bad defenses, it will definitely want to go first. It can hit Pokemon very hard, especially with critical hits, as the Sniper ability is one of its innates and will increase their damage by another 75%. Razor Leaf and Supersonic Shot are moves that are guaranteed to crit that it can run to take advantage of this ability. Supersonic Shot is actually really nice though, because it's an arrow move and gets boosted by the Archer ability. And its coverage is insane with all the arrow moves like Clay Dart, which is a ground type, and Triple Arrows, which is fighting. Of course, it still gets its signature move, Spirit Shackle, that can take advantage of this. Now, Mega Decidueye only has one choice ability, and it happens to be its signature ability, Hunter's Mark. This ability will let it use a 40 base power Spirit Shackle against a Pokemon trying to switch out. Honestly, it's one of the worst signature abilities I've seen, as Pokemon rarely switch out, and even if they do, this doesn't prevent them from doing so. Overall, this Mega isn't really anything special apart from its amazing speed. Sure, it can help a team, but it isn't a game changer by any means. 4.5 out of 10. Even though regular Decidueye has an underwhelming Mega Evolution, it gets a second chance with its Hisuian form. The Grass fighting type leans way more into its power versus its speed. This Mega has a base attack stat of 150, which will surely leave a mark, coupled with 125 in speed, which is faster than a good portion of the game. 100 in defense also means it has a better chance of surviving hits compared to its regular form. This Mega also gets a brand new signature choice ability. Junshi Sanda makes all of its punching and kicking moves both punching and kicking moves. Now, what does this mean? Well, I believe it pairs with its innate ability Combat Specialist, which boosts the power of punching and kicking moves by 30%. So its signature ability makes the boost apply twice, meaning all punching and kicking moves have their power multiplied by 1.69 times. At least, that's what I think it does, otherwise it's completely useless. But that means a move like Trope Kick sits at 127 base power, and High Jump Kick sits at 219 base power, which is just insane. This Mega actually doesn't have Forest Rage like the others, but has a fighting equivalent, Gladiator, so the lower its health, the stronger it becomes. And even though it has a lot of weaknesses, the 4x weakness to flying isn't one of them because of aerodynamics, which not only makes it immune to flying, but increases its speed when hit with one. With the base form having it as well, it's a perfect switch in to incoming flying attacks. And with its amazing power, all it needs is a little speed to run through teams. High Jump Kick, Trope Kick, and Whirling Strikes can crush most Pokemon, so it's definitely a Mega worth running. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. The Generation 8 Grass type, Rillaboom, is one of the best grass starters in the game. The Mega form just brings all the tools from the base form and makes it even better. Attack was now raised to sit at 150 like a few of the other Megas on this list. Its speed actually gets lower, now at 65, but both defenses get a nice bump to sit above 100, so it's not getting one shot most of the time. With Grass Pelt as one of its choice abilities, and Grassy Surge being on the base form, it's quite tanky on the physical side, so it can certainly survive a hit or two. If the terrain happens to go away, a contact move is all it takes to set it back up again because of the innate Seed Sower. This is pretty important because just like the base form, grassy terrain is really important for its success. Grassy Glide is just so powerful, and with the higher rank ability giving priority moves 20% more power, it's much better. Getting a Swords Dance off to double its attack is pretty easy and can make it that much scarier. Since it will just be spamming Grassy Glide anyway, the rhythmic ability is also good to run, as each time it's used in succession, it gets a 10% boost. In doubles, it might be a while before it gets taken out, so this power can get really high. What's also really nice about the Rhythmic Choice ability is that to have it, you have to make sure the base form has Violent Rush as its choice ability. So if it Mega Evolves turn 1, Mega Rillaboom still receives the 20% attack boost and speed boost. Mega Rillaboom is a solid grass Mega, as Pokemon that don't resist grass will have a very tough time beating it without taking damage. It still has other great tools like Fake Out and just feels nice to have on a team. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Lastly, we have Meowscarada. This Mega is also a pretty straightforward upgrade to the base form with nothing too special going on. The main stats you care about, attack and speed, are raised to 140 and 153 respectively, so it's definitely a glass cannon with those defensive stats. What doesn't make sense though is the 40-point increase to special attack because it's pretty useless. Sure, if you want to run a special set on this Pokemon, it has some options, but you'd be giving up its Long Reach innate ability, and will have less power, so there's really no point. Besides, Long Reach is there to help boost its signature move, Flower Trick, as it's a physical move with no contact that always crits, so it can do some real damage. Mega Meowscarada actually has a new signature ability, Conjurer of Deceit, which just combines Magic Guard and Magic Bounce. It can't hold a Life Orb, so that doesn't help, and Chloroplast is the only move with recoil that it gets, which is a special attack, so not the greatest. With it having Protein, it can swap its typing before most Pokemon attack, so at least it has some defense against its weaknesses. There really isn't anything special about this Mega. I mean, it has amazing speed, so it can certainly pick up knockouts, but priority just cooks it, and it doesn't really hit that hard. It won't make your team worse, but just run the base form at this point. 5 out of 10. The Grass Megas are a decent group. Most of them will get the job done as a Mega, but won't break the game. The ones at the bottom of the list, you're really just giving up too much value to run them over others, so unless it's permanent Mega mode, just use something else. Mega Meganium is by far the best and will win so many battles for you. But you let me know which of these Grass Megas do you think is best, and let me know which starters I should do next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.